You are watching Nadira037.
Alright guys, first things first, make sure you go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you have not yet. And once you've done that, click the little bell. So hopefully YouTube will follow through and notify you when I post new videos. And definitely drop me a comment down below letting me know what you think of this video. If you guys like my videos and want to see more of them, you can help make that happen by checking out my Patreon, where I do bonus posts, exclusive tutorials, and let you guys decide what video is going to be next. You get access to this for pledging as little as $1 a month. It really helps me out. With your pledges, I'm able to make more consistent videos and better quality content. Click the link below to check it out. So let's get down to business, you guys. I have done plenty of tutorials for you that have included sleeves. I've never done one that was dedicated to making the sleeves themselves, and I thought that this would be a good reference for you going forward, since I do have plenty of tutorials planned for you. This way you won't have to kind of go back to another tutorial and go to a certain point in that tutorial to figure out how to make the sleeves. You've got it right here for you, ready to go. So jumping right in, I'm going to pause it right here to go over a little bit with you guys. I am using this t-shirt to go ahead and make the bodice for the shirt that I'm making in this tutorial, but you can use this for anything like a shirt or a dress or even a jacket. I am using this stretch t-shirt since I am using stretch fabric today. However, if you are not using stretch fabric, you can go ahead and trace a shirt that you like the fit of that is non-stretch. So I chose this shirt today because I like the curve of that, which I'm showing you here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and fold that over, make sure it's nice and neat and flat. And I'm gonna line that up along the edge of my pattern paper, which I do use freezer paper, but you can use whatever works best for you. Once I have that nice and flat, I'm going to go ahead and start tracing around it, starting with my side seam first. Then I'll go ahead and do the neck seam and the shoulder seam. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the armhole. And I'm just starting by taking some straight pins and I'm pinning those right into the seam of the armhole. You can see it's following the curve of the armhole right there. I'm going to go ahead and take all of those pins out, remove the t-shirt. And what those pins do is leave a little hole in my pattern paper, and I'm marking those holes with my pencil here since you guys can't see them. Then I'm just going to go ahead and trace around those pinholes. If you do have a curve ruler, that would help out great here. I couldn't find mine, so you definitely don't need one. And this is what the finished pattern piece will look like for your bodice. Go ahead and cut that out and set this piece aside. Next, we're going to start working on the actual sleeve pattern. I still have my shirt folded over and I'm lining up the top of that sleeve right along the edge here. Again, making sure that it's nice and flat. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and trace around the armhole seam. And first, I'm just adding the bottom seam. Same thing, you guys, you're going to take your straight pins and pin right into the seam. You're going to end up with a bell-shaped curve. Again, I'm just marking those holes since you guys cannot see them, and I'm going to move the pattern paper up just a little bit so you guys can get a better idea of what I'm doing here. All right, so I did this in a bit of a rush, so make sure that when you guys do this, it's nice and neat so you have a perfect sleeve and a perfect fit. I'm going to go ahead and trace around and just kind of go back and adjust that to make sure it's nice and neat. Once we've done that, you'll move on to marking the length of your sleeve. I went ahead and just went for 23 inches for this example. You can make your sleeve as long or as short as you want it to be. Then you want to go ahead and grab a measuring tape and measure around the width of where the bottom of your sleeve will fall. For me, that's right at about 7 inches. So I'm going to divide that number by 2, and that way I'll know what to mark as the width for my pattern. That gives me 3.5 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and mark my width at 3.5. I'm connecting the bottom seam here. And here's the first part of your sleeve pattern. Next, you want to go ahead and move on to marking your seam allowance. I'm using 1/2 inch in this pattern piece, but because this is a DIY pattern, you can use whatever seam allowance you are most comfortable with. A quick and easy way to do that, I did show you guys in my hack video, which I'll leave in the eye up above or in the description box down below. I am using a ruler here, but if you have a seam gauge, that'll help out, or you can also just use measuring tape. And here is your finished sleeve pattern. All you need to do now is go ahead and grab your scissors, cut that out, and you are good to go. So next I've got my fabric here, which is a Ponte fabric, and I have it folded over. I'm going to place my pattern along the fold of the fabric, and I do have the fabric with the stretch going in the direction of that arrow. All you need to do then is you can weight it down or trace around, but you do want to go ahead and cut out your pattern, and you will repeat this step twice. Once you've done that, here are your 2 sleeve pieces. Working with one piece at a time, you can go ahead and open that up, remove any limp pieces. And the first thing I'm going to do is serge along the bottom of the sleeve. If you don't have a serger, you can go ahead and skip this step. And here is what it looks like once you've done that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my favorite stuff in the whole entire world, Wonder Tape. I have a full tutorial on this. Definitely click the eye to check it out. I'm just placing that down, and sometimes I'll iron it, but I'm going to use the heat from my fingers just to help that stick to my fabric. Go ahead and peel it up and then fold it over. And here's a closer look at that. And then you'll go ahead and flip the sleeve over, and you're going to top stitch right along the top of the bottom of your sleeve. I am using my twin needle here because I really like the look and the finish of that. If you want a tutorial for that, click the eye above. Here's what your sleeve will look like at the bottom. You can see I've top stitched along the top, and you want to fold your sleeve with right sides facing right sides. I again am using this Ponte fabric, so it folds together and sticks pretty well. If you're using something like a jersey fabric, you may want to go ahead and add more pins. But once you've done that, you will go ahead and sew and or serge along the bottom seam. I am just using a regular straight stitch here. Here's what your finished sleeve will look like. I'm going to go ahead and fold that with the right sides facing out. And next we're going to go ahead and move on to the bodice. For the bodice today, I did use my high-low peplum top tutorial, but you can do this with anything like a dress, a jacket, or just a regular t-shirt, but you want to make sure you have your bodice folded with the wrong sides facing out. Go ahead and grab your sleeve with the right sides facing out, and I'm just going to go ahead and place a pin right along that top just to help me mark where I'm going to pin it into the armhole. You want the bottom armhole to line up with the bottom seam of your sleeve, and the same for the top. Go ahead and open the armhole up and tuck your sleeve right in there. First thing I'm going to do is pin at the bottom, then I'm going to go ahead and pin at the top. Once I've done that, I work my way pinning all the way around the armhole. Once you've pinned all the way around, you want to serge and or sew all the way around the armhole. I'm going to go ahead and remove my extension table so that way I can go ahead and take that armhole and place it right onto the free arm of my sewing machine. Using your straight stitch, you can go ahead and sew all the way around. And I'm going to do the same thing at my serger. Again, if you don't have a serger, you can go ahead and skip this step. And here is what the sleeve will look like. I'm going to go ahead and flip this on the right side so you guys can really see what your finished sleeve will look like. It's nice and neat, no puckers, no gathers, and you have a sleeve that is perfect. The last thing that you'll need to do is go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, and you are done. Super simple, and I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. You went from no sleeves to easily adding sleeves. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I've definitely got plenty of other tutorials and new tutorials coming for you guys, so make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, you guys, it's time for my favorite part, our Material Girl of the Week. This week, it comes from Instagram, from @Stephanie.Cruz. She used my circle skirt tutorial to hand sew this circle skirt. Well done, great job. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you guys want to be the next Material Girl of the Week, make sure you tag me and use hashtag Nadira037 so I can see and share. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. And until my next video, assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Can I wave? I can put my hand on?
Right here, you can come wave. Say hi.
Hi!
I'll put the audio in for this part. What do you want to say?
Hi, I'm Nadira's daughter, and she has kid shirts. Kid shirts. And she has an office. And I know you're thinking this is Nadira's other hand, but this is actually Nadira's kid's hand.